Hello, I'm Norbert Vaassen, energy engineer and greenhouse gas accountant. We talk today about Scope 2 indirect emissions. Most companies don't produce their own electricity. They buy it from the grid. And that can be also for steam and other kinds of energy, even for compressed air. But okay, that energy has still its carbon footprint. This is where Scope 2 emissions come in. In this lesson, we'll explore how electricity use contributes to emissions and how companies can reduce their impacts. And the same is true for all those other energy vectors. Just an intermezzo to show how important it is that we do well our work of accounting. We are talking about the quality of the carbon credits. Well, let's suppose that the following happens. You have a carbon offset project and 50 tons of CO2 are really reduced in a process. Now, because of certain errors, maybe also an incentive to issue more carbon credits in order to earn more money, but maybe also because of just errors, the project developer reports 100 tons, not 50 tons. And then he sells also 100 tons of those carbon credits on the market that are then used by others to offset their own emissions. Now, 50 of those carbon credits, of those new carbon credits, are just fake. If they are sold and an industry, for example, they use this to offset their own emissions and therefore are not more incentivized to reduce their emissions with those 50 tons, well, you understand that the climate is worse off. So there's 50 tons of CO2 more in the environment than must have been. So therefore, it is very important that there are no fake CO2 carbon credits on the market and that people have also the confidence that this work is done in the right way. If the perceived quality of the carbon credits on the market is low, then the whole system will not work. People will just not believe in it, and also decision makers will not participate. Scope 2 emissions are indirect emissions from purchased electricity, steam, heating and cooling. Even though a company doesn't burn fuel directly, the emissions still happen at the power plant supplying that energy. An example is a data center running on coal-powered electricity has high Scope 2 emissions, and a supermarket using electricity for refrigeration and lighting and other things also contributes through Scope 2. For many businesses, Scope 2 is the largest category, especially in sectors like IT, services and manufacturing. There are two methods in the GHG protocol. One is location-based, and then you use the average emission factor for electricity in the country or in the region. And then you have also market-based. For example, you use emission factors from specific electricity contracts. For example, 100% renewable energy. An example calculation. If a factory buys 1 million kilowatt-hour and the grid's emission factor is half a kilogram CO2 per kilowatt-hour, then you have 1 million times half, and it is 500,000 kilogram of CO2, or 500 metric tons. Companies use emission factors that are available in databases like International Energy Agency or the EPA e-grid in the United States. To cut Scope 2 emissions, companies can improve energy efficiency. For example, LED lighting, better HVAC systems, and that is heating, ventilation and air conditioning, and smart energy management. Purchase green energy, for example, buy renewable electricity through power purchase agreements or renewable energy certificates. Install on-site renewables, solar panels or wind turbines. Reduce your reliance on fossil fuel electricity. Switching to renewable energy is one of the fastest ways to cut emissions. Many companies are already running on a high percentage of renewable energy. Scope 2 emissions come from purchased electricity and can be reduced by using renewable energy and efficiency measures. The best is to do both, because also renewable energy must not be wasted. Otherwise, your investment in that technology will be higher. In the next lesson, we'll cover Scope 3 emissions, the biggest and most complex category that covers everything from supply chains, and that's the head side of the life cycle of those emissions, to the product use, and that's the tail side. Subscribe to keep learning, and we will meet next week.